You are listening to another broadcast of Face Radio, where we strive to encourage, enlighten, and inform our families. On this episode, our DJs Techie Tamika, Lovable Lisa, and Talented Tamilia will bring you a great discussion on the topic of building resilience in children. We want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Also, families, stay calm. Face Radio is on.
Hello, A-Leaf. This is Techie Tamika,
Talented Tamilia,
and Lovable Lisa
here again. Yes, we are here again
Yes,
to give you an ear full of news, entertainment, music, and just good conversation that we hope you'll find useful and enlightening. Speaking of enlightening, how did you do with our last challenge? Did you post your comment on our Twitter page, which is at @ALEAF_Face Radio? In case you forgot the challenge, here's a reminder. Last time we were tuned in together. The challenge was to do something to reduce stress in your life. Then share it with us on our Twitter page, which is at @ALEAF_Face Radio. The guest speaker, Mr. Isaac Agia, shared with us several ways to reduce stress, and we hope you were able to use them. Like we said before, last year was very challenging. But even more recently, the winter storm we endured at the end of February has been a reason to pause, breathe, and see how we've been able to bounce back into some normalcy. Even most of our students have gotten back into their normal school routine, but not without some sort of adversity, trauma, or tragedy. Which brings us to this podcast topic today: building resilience in children.
You know what time it is? It's birthday shout out time. Woohoo! Happy birthday to you. We shout out with cheers for many more birthday years too. From Reese Elementary, Miss Johanna Benavides, Miguel Casanova, go Casanova, Lydia Grimaldo. From Youngblood Intermediate, Devonia Addison, Net Abakasanga. From Outley Elementary, Miss A. James. Also, we want to send a special shout out to the person who answered our A-Leaf trivia question, Mrs. Majors, who's a parent at Alexander Elementary. Yay, Miss Majors. And congratulations also to Miss Sarah Nagy from Youngblood Intermediate for becoming the A-Leaf ISD Teacher of the Year finalist. Hey, you're listening to A-Leaf Face Radio. Keep calm. Face Radio is on. We'll be back.
In all of us, in our hearts, there's love and light that we must realize. We need to feel, we need to use this warmth that could make bright our lives. In all of us, in our hearts, there's love and light that we must realize. We need to feel, we need to use this warmth that must realize we need to feel, we need to use this warmth that could make bright our lives.
Here are some announcements you need to know. City of Houston Summer Jobs Program for 2021 is here. Ages 16 through 24 may apply for the program. You may apply beginning March 15th through April 16th. For questions, please send an email to summerjobsprogram@houstontx.gov. Again, summerjobsprogram@houstontx.gov. Also, Houston Harris County Winter Storm Relief Fund is available to assist with plumbing issues. For more information, please text Houston Freeze to 898-211. Again, the number is 898-211. We have one more announcement. Houston Harris County Emergency Rental Assistance Program. To apply as a renter or a landlord, applications to apply by going to houstonharrishelp.org. Place to apply is houstonharrishelp.org.
Hey, listeners, it's time for Word of the Week. Our word of the week is unyielding. It's an adjective. It means not giving away to pressure, unlikely to be swayed or resolute. Let's use it in a sentence. Their unyielding faith kept them strong in the midst of their terrible tragedy.
Hey, it's time for Did You Know? Since March is Women's History Month, how about we spotlight a few of the women who have changed history? First up, the first Southern African American woman elected to the United States House of Representatives was Houston's born Barbara Jordan. She received her degree from right here in Houston at Texas Southern University. In 1966, she won a seat in the Texas Senate, and 7 years later, in 1972, she was elected to the House of Representatives as the first woman to be elected to represent Texas in the House. In 1994, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the NAACP presented her with the Spingarn Medal. She was honored many times and was given over 20 honorary degrees from institutions across the country, and was elected to the Texas and National Women's Hall of Fame. Did you know that the "Si se puede" phrase originator was Dolores Huerta? Si se puede means yes, you can. Ms. Huerta is an American labor leader and civil rights activist who co-founded the National Farm Workers Association, which later became the United Farm Workers. She organized the Delano Grape Strike and was the lead negotiator in the workers' contract created after the strike. Ms. Huerta has received many awards for her community service and advocacy for workers, immigrants, and women's rights, including the Eugene B. Debs Foundation Outstanding American Award. the United States Presidential Eleanor Roosevelt Award for Human Rights, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was the first Latina inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in 1993. Next spotlight, did you know? Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit was a diplomat and politician. Pandit's career was full of many impressive accomplishments. She was the first Indian woman ever to become a cabinet minister and the first woman in the world to be an ambassador to 3 different countries, serving in Moscow, London, and Washington, D.C. Most notably, however, she was the first woman and the first Asian to be elected the president of the United Nations General Assembly. And our last spotlight, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the first female vice president. Ms. Harris is the daughter of Jamaican and Indian immigrants to the United States. She attended Howard University, a historically Black university in Washington, D.C., before embarking on a career trajectory that took her from District Attorney of San Francisco to California Attorney General to U.S. Senator. After Ms. Harris ended her own 2020 presidential run, former Vice President Biden, the Democratic nominee, chose her as his running mate. Now let's break and keep calm. Face Radio is on.
Eyes glow like 2 fires, movement so graceful. Wildcat in the jungle with dangerous claws. Movement she anticipates, a sight is set on her prey. Like stars in the darkest night, crystallized, fascinate. If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, 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 fascinate.
Don't stand, don't say, don't look back, she anticipates. No chance if you become prey. 2 stars in the darkest night, her crystallized fascinate. Her movements, she feels your heartbeat, an animal fear. Her beauty is unreal, just beat feet out of here.
If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, 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 fascinate. If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, 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 fascinate.
We're back, and thank you for joining us. Now let's talk about resilience. I believe this is a word we can all relate to. And what does it mean, you ask? Well, First, let me give you some scenarios to see if you can guess or get some sort of an idea of what resilience means. You might have experienced one of these scenarios yourself. Scenario number one. The group you normally hang out with gets invited to one of your friends' parties, but not you. What do you do?
I call them.
You
Find out.
call them? You call them? You wouldn't block them like me? No, I'm just kidding. Good. That's excellent. That's really the route you want to go. That shows resilience and understanding and keeping an open mind. That maybe they just forgot to send your invitation in the mail. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Scenario number two. You trip and fall at the grocery store in front of a lot of people. What do you do?
Being lovable Lisa, I bounce right back up.
I go into a great old dance like what?
I didn't do any of those. When I was in the ninth grade, it was raining and I was stepping off the bus and I fell like right off the bus. First day of school. And it was so embarrassing because nobody helped me up. They just stepped over me. And I was just like, y'all really don't see me and I am visible. But I went on, I pretended like I went to the nurse because I sprained my ankle. But I pretended like, it was just another part of the day. I still had to get through the rest of the day. And I just kind of went on about my day. It helped that nobody, acknowledged that I fell. So that was the best part, that nobody even acknowledged it. So I survived that experience, and it didn't affect me later on in the day, the month, the years. In fact, it made me stronger. It proved that I didn't need anybody. And our last scenario number 3, you planned a great outside party, and the weather has been predicted to be sunny. But on the day of the event, it storms. How do you react?
Can't say on the podcast.
You can't say on the podcast.
Well, I just find another solution
Yeah.
for the party. Yeah.
I mean, that's a part of being resilient, being adaptable to every situation. I know that when I was getting married, I checked the weather like religiously. Like every Monday, I was like, let me check the weather. And a week before, my aunt set me aside. She said, look, it's probably going to rain for your outside wedding. And she was just like bracing herself for how I reacted. But I said, it's going to be a great day anyway. And we already had contingency plans in place. So that's important in life, that you have an idea of, okay, what's my plan B? What's my plan C if plan A doesn't go through? Now, did you figure it out? If you didn't, simply put, resilience means being able to bounce back from disappointment or being able to adapt to something we can't change. Almost everyone all over the world has had a moment to be resilient because of COVID. But most recently, we as Houstonians have really had to be resilient.
Oh, for real.
Yes.
This winter storm that happened in February had us trying to adapt to a situation we had never encountered before. At least I haven't in my lifetime. And I've been here all of my life. We had no control over the weather, but however, we had to adapt and try to bounce back. But how can we help children bounce back or rebound in a positive way? Here's a quote to tie into just that. Lisa?
This quote comes from Nelson Mandela. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall.
That's good.
That's good. That's good.
Now, if I had $1 for every time I fell as a child or a teenager, but that's a story. To me, that quote says, no matter how many times I mess up, just learn from that mess up and try not to repeat that same mess up. What about either one of you, Tamika?
Well, the quote definitely speaks on just rising in the midst of falling. Because we all going to find a time in our life where we will fall, but we have to learn how to just get up, dust ourselves off, and keep moving, because life is full of challenges. You have to be resilient and just keep moving.
Yeah, and the world does not stop just because something does not go through or you have these disappointments. The world doesn't stop. You have to keep going and keep living your life.
So, listeners, you're listening to Face Radio, but don't forget to follow us on Twitter at @Ailey_Face Radio and visit our website, www.aileyisd.net/family. Stay close. We'll be right back.
welcome back, listeners. I hope you enjoyed the music that you just got to listening to. I know I was over here jamming. I am so excited about this podcast, and I hope you've been enjoying it as we've been having a really great conversation. Before I go on into our main segment today, I want to encourage all our listeners to follow us and like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. So when you go on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell so that you are notified of all our podcasts that will be coming out. So we've been talking about resilience. If you've been following our podcast, today's topic is a relative. So to speak to our past topic, which were on hope, self-care, and understanding your emotions to reduce stress. Sometimes we have to learn how to accept challenges, right? Let's talk about the cousin hope, for example. Hope is that expectation, but sometimes in life, things don't turn out the way we expect them to. As adults, we expect our new car to last longer than 8 months. We expect our relationship to endure. We expect our children to obey us. Oh my Lord, definitely agree on that one. But life can bring about changes, and change can be scary, especially for children and teens. But by being optimistic and having a positive outlook, one can see the good things in life or the positive side of a situation. Let me elaborate. For example, a new school, moving to a new city or an area, even having a different role in the classroom or in sports, friends moving away and you're now feeling like you're left alone, or having that new sibling because you was the baby of the family. Resilience builders are things that give them time to prepare, allow them time to process and begin to accept the change, listen to their concerns, help them work through the emotion. Often they just want empathy and understanding. Would you agree?
Yes, yes.
Even a good way to build that resilience in your child is coaching children through their feelings.
Right.
Basically, when children know how to accept change, they also will be better and able to sustain or even strengthen their minds to accept those transitions. Tamilia, what do you have to say about this?
Something parents often say, they'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm going to visit my child, my niece, my grandchild, my nephew, whoever. She has her own apartment, or even better, their own house. Just somewhere you can go visit and dirty up their dishes."
I know that's right.
And like I said, this is something every parent dreams of saying one day, but it starts with spending one-on-one time with your child while they're young, even through their teenage years. Putting your phone away and just focusing on your child shows unconditional support. It helps the child to feel empowered. Giving that time makes you look responsive or attentive in their eyes, which is really important. You're giving them your full attention. If you can't be there fully, most of the time, encourage them to connect with positive adults. This could mean another family member, teacher, or even a trusted community member. Connecting to a positive adult with stability helps children develop positive, strong values. It also helps deter them from alternative paths to love and attention. Here's an example. Knowing that there's always a trusting and positive adult they can talk to, most children will be able to avoid a destructive lifestyle or look for love and attention from the wrong crowd or influence. The most common example of school-age children who may not have that positive adult connection are those who fall into the hands of gangs or other bad influence.
And that's true to me. We see that so much here where I am at the high school level. They flow towards down the wrong path. And so
Yeah.
they start joining these little gangs because they're just looking for love. They're just looking for some support. That's
Yeah.
all. Just somebody who's
Acceptance.
a listening ear and spending time with them.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Some kids are not engaged just because they're looking for love and support. Some of them are engaged because they just have a sense of fear. They don't feel like if they don't know how to adapt in a world that's kind of crazy. So sometimes that's their way of having that protection in their lives, So we have to, again, teach our kids how to be resilient, even in the midst of all that adversity and what is negative around them, to pull out that positive.
Right. So that's why it's very important to have that strong emotional connection.
So true. So true.
Yep.
Here's a special announcement. A-Leaf families, don't forget, Spring It Forward in April's virtual workshops will take place on April 1st. That's April 1 at 11 a.m. and another at 6 p.m. For more information, contact your campus family liaison or visit our website at www.aleafisd.net/family.
I hope that you again are enjoying this great and awesome podcast. We're talking about today building resilience in children, how to help them bounce back from disappointments or hardships. And don't forget, let me plug it in, to follow us on Twitter at @ALEAF_Face Radio and visit our website, as Lisa said, at www.aleafisd.net/family. You can also like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook page, and like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, so building their executive functioning. How can we do that? How can we build their executive functioning? Let's say playing games. Another way to help build a child resilience is to provide them opportunities that will help with mental skills, including working memory, flexible thinking, and self-control. It's not so hard as you think. Guess what you can do? You can play games. Dust off that old Monopoly game board and play a few hours. Nah, but really, games really do help develop planning skills and impulse control, and begin to help them kind of come up with new names and new things to do. For example, have you ever watched children playing a particular game where the outcome has a winner? They learn quickly that in order to try and win, they sometimes have to use alternative strategies or thoughts to achieve an outcome of winning.
Another way to build resilience is by forming a daily routine. Building their executive function, the brain, helps with managing daily routines. Having a daily routine for young children can be comforting. They are most at ease when knowing what will or should happen next, and it should be done consistently. For teens, daily routines establish some predictability and a sense of control. Routines for them can be flexible as they are getting closer to becoming more independent. After all, they're close to venturing out into the world than learning how to walk and talk. Routines help to provide structure for them. An example is wind down time for bed is 7:30. With a daily routine, your child knows this, and it shouldn't be a power struggle to get them to bed. On Saturdays, everyone knows that before 12 p.m., all chores need to be done before phone time, playtime, or anything they want to do. No power struggle. Here's a freebie. If your child disagrees with something and tells you why you're wrong, this is a plus. Their executive functioning is developing rapidly and successfully. Think of it this way. Without providing a child with mental skills to build their executive function, we call it the brain, it will make it harder for them to focus, follow instructions, and handle emotions, to name a few as they become young adults. This was a lot to take in, so grab a quick snack and a beverage, and while you do, send us a tweet at aleaf_face radio. More to come after this music break.
My head in the clouds, I don't know where we go. I feel like it's changed, love. I'm losing my mind, feeling that kind of love. I feel like a deep hole. You give me something that I can't give you here. Tell me what you're thinking, I need to know you're feeling. If you crush on me, you need to know my story. But don't get too close to me, cause I need my fantasy. Here I am, falling down, crashing down, and I feel like I don't need you. Here I am, falling down, deep inside, and I feel like I don't need you. See our sun shining, and all these good times, we know we had something. Don't feel the vibe when we're not floating. Ain't no good time when it's a darker sin. You give me something that I can't give you here. Tell me what you're thinking, I need to know you're feeling. If you crush on me, you need to know my story. But don't get too close to me, cause I need my fantasy. You give me something that I can't give you here. Tell me what you're thinking, I need to know you're feeling. If you crush on me, you need to know my story. But don't get too close to me, cause I need my fantasy. Here I am, falling down, crashing down, and I feel like I don't need you. Here I am, falling down, deep inside, and I feel like I don't need you.
Appreciate you chilling with us, and coming up with a stomach buster ha-ha moment will be Techie Tamika. Now, if you're one of our faithful listeners, and if you aren't, we hope you will, as you sort of laugh at one of her jokes, you might be saying to yourself, why am I laughing? It wasn't even that funny.
Lover Beliefs, what you trying to say? What you trying to say?
Oh.
I think I'm funny.
Baby, yes you are. But it's your confidence. It's that confidence that you put out. It just rolls on over to make your jokes even funnier. You know what you have, Tamika?
What I got?
You have self-confidence.
Yeah, hear me roar.
Hey, go on, roar, girl, roar. Techie Tamika has a positive self-view of herself, no matter what we think. Which brings us to another way to build resilience in your child. Encouraging a positive self-view is a way to build that resilience in your children. And boy, can I really relate to this one. As a child, and even as I got older, I could be considered as having the triple threat of doom. I was chubby, I was overly smart, and I wore glasses. Now, you would think these three attributes would have me wearing a gold crown. But, tell you a story. K through 4th grade, I was going to school with my mom where she taught, so I didn't have too much of an issue then. 5th grade, she started letting me go to school in the school district where we live. Those kids didn't know me, right? So, now mind you, I was chubby, smart, and wore glasses. 5th grade, I got the distinguished name title of dictionary. Do you know that hurt at first? You would think, that would just boost my confidence, but it didn't. But my mother had instilled in me, Lisa, you're smart. Don't let that bother you. And it didn't, because when I got to middle school, it moved on up to encyclopedia. I was encyclopedia in middle school, dictionary in elementary school. But because of her encouraging words and making my mind think of me being, I was all that in a bag of chips, nothing else bothered me, my weight, anything, even today. So to help children build that self-confidence views, though, first let me go back. In order to have confidence, they need help developing competence. Ask you right, what is competence? Competence describes the feeling of knowing that you can handle a situation effectively. It's that I got this attitude. And to do that, you need to empower them to make some good decisions and focus on their strengths. Like my mom used to say her mom used to tell she and her siblings, if you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can be. Same with kids. If they're not good at reading or some other subject in school, make a big deal out of how well they may detail a car, how well they do hair. For instance, if your son likes to draw, but most of the boys in his classroom are into sports, encourage him to do sports drawings. Now, wait a minute. That's not to say you brush off their low skills in a subject, because you got to get them some assistance like tutorials. But, you get what I'm saying, right?
I get what you're saying. But hold on. When you said competence, my mind went to a helicopter parent. That's that parent who wants to swoop in and save the child, save the children. But it's almost like telling them they aren't capable to handle a situation. I mean, I know we want to make sure our children do well and are safe, but for them to gain their level of competency, let them figure something out. Praise them for their efforts, especially for sticking with hard situations. You know what I'm saying?
Right. With that competence of knowing that they can handle a situation, it builds that confidence in taking it on home.
Right.
Meaning recognize when they've done something well, no matter what it is. Perfect example. Knowing how to play the piano excellently, or writing a beautiful essay, or memorizing a speech, which those things are competence things. That's one thing. But actually getting in front of an audience and playing that piano piece, or reading that essay, or saying that speech, that's confidence. Guess what? I'm confident that we'll be back with our trivia question and our chance to win after this special announcement. Get the scoop. Stay in the loop. Our Face newsletter was created specifically for our A-Leaf families. Twice a month, we feature fun activities to do with your children, resources on nutrition and health, amazing scholarship opportunities, information on mental health, financial assistance, and so much more. Visit aleafisd.net/family to learn more about how you can stay in the loop. Now let's loop to the music.
With this feeling I can leave. I'm working and I'm dreaming. Will you dare to give it all up and walk by my side? Do you see the road? Do you hear its call? Do you want a part of it? Just getting me above now. Just getting me See the sun goes down, driving lights in hearts, counting trees around. This is our day to dream. My heart it's cursed with you. My heart is cursed with you. Just get me
I hope you enjoyed that music. Thank you for listening. We've touched on a few ways and reasons to build resilience in children. We know that today's children and young people are dealing with a complex range of challenges, but helping them to work through them will help them with whatever life throws at them. We pose this challenge to you, listeners. Try using one of the strategies mentioned to help develop resilience in your child, then share it with us on Twitter at @Aleaf_Face Radio. Now it's time for a ha-ha moment with Tamika.
I hope y'all are ready to laugh.
Oh.
Hey, y'all know how I like to tell stories. I have to tell you this story right here. This one right here just really tripped me out.
Okay.
So, I was in a fabric store, right? And so this blonde lady walks into the fabric store and she comes up to the customer service person and she say, "Sir, I need curtains for my computer." Now, the customer service rep starts scratching his head and he was a little baffled, like, "Why do you need curtains for your computer?" She said, "Well, my computer have windows." For a computer. This was your ha 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 moment.
Okay, it's time for our trivia, A-Leaf. The trivia is, how many elementary schools does A-Leaf ISD have? Be the fifth person to text your answer to 832-422-8423. That's 832-422-8423. Again, be the fifth person to text your answer to the question, how many elementary schools does A-Leaf ISD have? And you'll be the winner of a special prize. I don't know how many elementary schools A-Leaf ISD has. I think it's 125 personally. That's a good number to me.
Sounds right.
Could be.
Text your answer and let us know.
I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to laugh. Oh, no, but really. Yes, we have to challenge ourselves to complete this podcast. But don't fret. We'll confidently be back with a new topic, fresh sounds, and always uplifting words of encouragement and inspiration. Just a reminder to share with us your challenge answer of what strategy you used to build resilience in your child or even yourself on our Face Radio Twitter, which is at @Aleaf_Face Radio. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you can be notified when our next podcast comes out. Connect that also with your family and friends and leave us a comment about your thoughts on today's topic. Closing us out will be Techie Tamika with an inspirational thought.
Here is your inspirational thought. Something to make you go, Being resilient is not something a person is born with. Resilience is something that someone learns through life experiences and by building positive life skills. Knowing that failure does not define a person, but having the courage to keep going in the face of adversity, which are life obstacles, learning to be grateful for something or someone every day. Knowing that when you wake up, it's a brand new day to a fresh start. Setting short and long-term goals for yourself, being aware of your past and present emotions equips you to have your own resilient shield for future challenges. Encourage yourself and others to preserve and persevere and have realistic expectation that can go from a dream to reality. Being resourceful and knowing that there's a solution to every problem. Resilience means taking care of yourself spiritually, physically, and mentally. Knowing that you don't have to face things and go through things alone. Find your support person or group that will truly be honest with you and encourage you to keep going. The more you exercise your resilient muscles, the more those muscles will be there to help you when they are needed. Resilience is the ability to bounce back and keep going. Remember, we are building resilience in our children for a lifetime. Thank you for joining us, and we hope we see you again for our next podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you are notified regarding our next podcast. We love you guys. Stay calm. Face Radio will be back on. Until then, bye.
We thank you for listening to another broadcast of Face Radio. We hope you are encouraged, enlightened, and informed from this discussion with our fantastic DJs, Techie Tamika, Lovable Lisa, and Talented Tamilia. I'm pretty sure no one likes to go through challenging times. I know I don't, but things happen. And it's called life. But just remember, resilient people are equipped to tap into their strengths and support systems to overcome challenges and work through their problems. Hey, you know what, families? Do you know your learning style? If you're unsure, you must definitely listen to our next episode as we dive in and explore the different learning styles of individuals. A-Leagues families, you know what time it is. Say it with me. Stay calm. Face Radio is on.